We have to start off with the basics. Hello, YouTube. This is my presentation on 100 anime girls that are literally me. And you're already gonna know which one is the first one. People are already guessing it, so let's just get the basics out of the way. Ah! No! Ah! I flipped through too many of them! Anyway, first of all, the first one. It's Tomoko from Watamote. Everybody fucking knows that this was gonna be on this presentation, so let's just get the basics out of the way. Every mentally ill girl on the internet says Tomoko is Zen, and you know what? I am one of them. I am not unable to be basic. I am a very basic girl. And watching this anime made me cringe beyond my wildest dreams because the whole anime is just her trying to make friends and trying to be popular and being put in very awkward situations because of it. And every single time it seems like she's gonna make a breakthrough and she's gonna be popular, she just totally blows it. She is literally me. So you have a Yuri harem around you? That part is the wish fulfillment part of this girl being on my presentation. I do not have a Yuri harem around me, unfortunately, but I will say that she is literally me. The entire anime doesn't really have many discernible side characters, really. Like, at the end of the day, this is an anime that is mostly about her. Like, sure, characters exist, but it's mostly about her. It's literally just Tomoko the anime. And you know what? If I had an anime about myself, I want it to be all about me too. Thank you for the 17 months, Jellybones. Thank you. Next slide. This presentation is going to tell us a lot about your self-esteem. Yes, I called this a deep dive into my psyche for a reason, because when I say that a character is literally me, I almost never pick any of the positive traits about these characters. I never pick any of their positive traits. You will see it in this next slide. Konata Izumi from Lucky Star. I feel like a lot of people, when they say that Tomoko is literally them, they also say that Konata is literally them. I have done a bunch of voice impressions of Wendy Lee over the years. Lucky Star is probably the second anime I've ever watched. It's after Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail was the first anime I ever watched. I voiced a lot of anime of her. A lot of memes of her. She's just literally me. She's just literally me. She's happy-go-lucky, she hyperfixates on her special interests. People don't completely understand why she is interested in the things she is, but they support her. It's kind of the dream, you know? She's in her little circle of normie friends, and they kind of just support her through her obsession with weeb culture, video games, anime, all sorts of things. She is incredibly based. Her dad was a bad influence. My dad was a big gamer. So if any of my family members have any complaints about why I turned out the way I did, it's really just because my dad did not give a very good example. Growing up, he'd go to internet cafes and stuff all the time. So he'd come home really late and just rambling about fucking Counter-Strike. It was weird. Anyway, next slide. Taiga from Toradora. This is once again not coming as any kind of surprise. Taiga is incredibly short. And even though I'm not that short, for some reason chat likes to make it one of my defining personality traits. So you know what, I'll give it to you. Yes, I'm short. Yes. If you've ever watched Toradora, you'll know that she has a very hard time expressing her feelings. She expresses her feelings through anger and punching people, being very aggressive. Yes. I also called her the princess of emotional dysregulation for that very reason. She is very bad at being open and earnest with her feelings, just like me. And so, in many ways, she copes with her aggression. She crashes out exactly like me. And the thing is, because she's so short, she's also a size difference queen. Everybody that stands next to her is just immediate size difference. So it doesn't even matter who you ship her with. It's size difference all the way. And for that reason, she gets the stamp of ally approval. Yahoo! What's with that last point anyway? Can you see it? Let me see. Oh, wait, hold on. My horns have been... Let me get my... Let me make myself even tinier. There we go. I think that is even better. That way you can see the slides. Okay, next slide. Sparkle from Honkai Star Rail. I included a little bit of lore over here, mostly so that I would remember it. I've barely played this game. I've voiced a lot of animations of this particular character, so I was kind of forced to learn a bit about her character. She's very, she's not entirely mentally there, but a lot of her backstory kind of resonated with me when I was reading up about it a few weeks ago. They mentioned that she's the last descendant of her clan, and because of that, she didn't really have much room to choose her fate. And when you have responsibility thrust into your hands like that, without you having much of a say over it, you kind of tend to go a little bit crazy. It makes sense. She looks a lot like Ally 1.0. I'm not entirely sure if you guys are familiar with Ally 1.0, but Ally 1.0 was very much just black hair, red outfit. Also her whole multiple personality thing. If you watch her trailer on YouTube, it's, yeah. I also really like her VA. Her VA also voices, she also voices Pomni. And Pomni is one other character that I would say is literally me. Yeah, but Sparkle's kind of just really crazy. Not entirely there. She often treats life as a performance, and you know what? Fucking same, bestie. Let's just get all the gacha game characters out, okay? There aren't gonna be many in this presentation, but let's just get all of them out of the way, okay? Hu Tao from Genshin Impact. I commissioned artwork from this artist. I commissioned artwork from this one artist, and she posted it. Her name is Ringeko-chan. She posted it on her Twitter, and everybody thought that it was Hu Tao for some reason. So for the longest time, I'd be like, getting a lot of people messaging me about my 1.0 design, being like, oh wow, did you get inspiration from Hu Tao? Why is Hu Tao wearing this weird dragon armor? What's up with Hu Tao? And it was like, fucking hell, man. But the reason I say she's literally me goes beyond a mere miscommunication from a commission that I got 3 years ago. I think personality-wise, I can resonate with her a lot because she's very playful, she's very mischievous, she likes to play pranks and stuff, but she also takes her passion, especially when it comes to maintaining the Wangsheng funeral parlor, she takes it very seriously. I also voice a lot of memes of her. A lot of memes. Too many memes. Even ones that I don't intend to voice, they always end up involving her in some way. I did a meme once where I played multiple girls playing a card game with each other, and that meme got yoinked by this animator, this really good animator, who overlaid it over a meme of Hu Tao and Frieren playing card games. Too many. Too many. Let me try and find it. I'm gonna try and find it. Give me one quick second. We're gonna try and find this. Let's see. Let me go on my Twitter. Can I go on my Twitter without accidentally exposing myself? Oh, wow, that's a really pretty picture. Let's see. Oh, ooh, wow. Don't get distracted! Don't get distracted! Alekirser, Hu Tao, let's see. I found it. Let's watch this instructional video to learn more. Oh, I didn't like it. Why didn't I like it? Do you have hearts? Bro, I'm gonna be so honest with you right now. I don't even know what the frick we're playing.
Yeah, like, I'm not
I didn't even voice this meme, but it got yoinked.
Speak for yourselves. Hada! Yay, go fish!
I like it. It's really nice. Anyway, let's get back to the presentation. There's a lot of that. There we go. Da-da-da-da-da-dum. Where's the play button? Where's the play button? Yeah. There we go. Okay. And then the last of the gacha game characters on this presentation. Bernice, Resemblance Zone Zero. Fire Bimbo. I mean, I don't have her tickle bitties, but you know, we're working on that. You know, she's a very entrepreneur girl. She's a business owner, like me. And she's also optimistic to a fault. She's just a very happy-go-lucky girl. She's who I am when I've taken my meds and I'm feeling good about myself, you know? That's what she is. I also really like fire, but again, kind of covered that base by mentioning that she's a fire bimbo. But yeah, yeah. Literally me. Also, I have an animation that I'm voicing of her coming out sometime soon. That's gonna be posted on my Twitter. And I can't post it anywhere else but Twitter, and you'll see why. It's gonna be really fun. Yeah. My one regret is not doing a cover of that once of her character song when it came out. I really liked it. Yeah. Unfortunately, it is too late. I'm like a year too late. But I do really like that song. It's so fucking stupid. I love it. Yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna add that to the list of missed song opportunities, like Ditto by New Jeans. Can't really cover that song anymore, it'd be awkward. Anyway, next. We're gonna get into some of the deeper cuts here. Serafuyua from Do It Yourself. I'm not very familiar with how much of my audience knows this anime. I do really like Do It Yourself. I think the OP is a banger. I listen to the OP every time I work out. She's really fucking cool. She's clumsy. She gets into a lot of accidents. If you know me, I had to wear shin guards and knee pads because my mom forced me to until I was like 12. So, yeah, that tells you a lot about what you need to know about me. She's ditzy, you know? She's not entirely there mentally sometimes, which literally me. But she never gives up. She might be a clumsy, dumb bitch, but she never gives up on what she does, which is do-it-yourself projects, which is why the anime is called Do It Yourself. And also, she is also optimistic to a fault. That is a character trait that I have. Sometimes the hopium just hopiums too hard, and it comes off as obnoxious. But she is, in fact, literally me. It's a great anime, you should watch it. Number 8. I had to keep you on your toes. If I made her number 1, then you would have been like, I already know all the other girls that are gonna be on this presentation. So she is number 8. My goat, Megumin from Konosuba. Not only does she have the black and red color scheme, but she is chuny as fuck. Very chuny. Extremely chuny. She is the shortest in the Konosuba group. She's also a very big brat. But the reason I put her here isn't because of these traits that, while are literally me, don't really get to the literally me of literally me. That sentence makes no fucking sense. Anyway, the reason I say that she's literally me is because she put all of her stat points into the one thing that she's good at. And that's causing explosions, making big-ass explosions, and only being able to do that once a day. I put all of my stat points into being a lewd anime girl online. And I like to think I'm pretty good at it. But that's all I can do. We're getting into the self-deprecation part of this presentation. Thank you. And you know, she's very childlike. She's very childlike, much like the others in the Konosuba troupe. They are kind of not all there mentally, which is the whole point of the anime, because it's meant to be a parody of isekai harem animes. But, funnily enough, she does have her little nuggets of wisdom sometimes. Sometimes she pulls through and manages to be the most level-headed in her friend group. And you know what? That is one positive trait that I will ascribe to myself, because I like to think that I sometimes have good takes. Just not often. And she's on the flat side. We're focusing on the psychological factor of why these characters are literally me. I did not start this presentation to catch strays from you, chat. That is not the point of this presentation. You take that back. Do you have a big witch hat too? I do have an affinity for big hats and chokers and eye patches, but I get into that with another character that's literally me. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you for the hydrate. Ooh. You think her flatness is psychological? My flatness is also psychological. Anyway, let's move on. Number 9! Rika Shiguma from Haganai. Haganai is one of the anime that I collected manga for. She is a connoisseur of being a pervert. I would not say Senna. The reason I say it was a bit of a close call because I relate to a lot. I would say that a lot of the girls in Haganai are literally me. But the reason I say that she wins is because I feel like in many ways my perviness sort of overrides my brattiness. But Senna's literally me when I'm feeling particularly girly pop, particularly bitchy, for sure. She definitely deserved a spot on this list, but Rika just ever so slightly edged her out. She's also very subby. Like, incredibly subby. Incredibly subby. But the part of her narrative and the part of her character arc that really got to me was her motivations behind joining the Neighbors Club. The whole point of the Neighbors Club is that it's just to hang out for a bunch of shut-ins. And she found community there. Granted, she's once again, she's a big fucking pervert, but at the same time, I think perverts deserve love and community too, and I'm really happy that she found it with her others in the Neighbors Club, so. Yeah, I'd say that she ever so narrowly edged the others out of the competition to win the top spot for most literally me character in Haganai. Yeah. I don't often have online communities that I feel very a part of unless I'm the one who either made them or co-founded them. So in many ways, the way that I find community online is literally forcing other people to be my friend. So, that's probably why I liked this anime so much when I was younger. The self-deprecation is not gonna get any better, chat. Let's move on to number 10. Kuromi. I forgot I added her here. Kuromi is an anime girl. She is an anime girl. You know how many people... Once again, this is another staple for a mentally ill girl on the internet to put on their literally me list. But you know what? This is my list. So I don't care if I'm being basic. She is misunderstood. Like me. Slash drama. And a lot of people like her for her aesthetics, and I do too. She's cute. She is very aesthetic. But the reason I like her a lot, and the reason I say that she's literally me, is because if you've seen any of the My Melody animated media, you would know that she is a definition of a Sigma. She is constantly being put through shit, and she has very justified reasons for having a difficult relationship with My Melody, that pink bunny girl. But you know what? Even though everybody gives her shit, and even though she's misunderstood to the fucking, core, she still manages to push through to try and achieve her goals, however misguided they may be. And for that reason, I think she is, in fact, literally me. Next. Once again, this is gonna be a deeper cut. Nyarko from Hayori and Naruko-san. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this anime, but I do really like it. The reason I put her on this list is because she's very much a breeder. a lot of the girls that I have on here is she is a breeder. I will not mention the ending. My goodness. Yeah, no, there's a lot of breeding in this anime. I would describe her as an egomaniac with an inferiority, I wouldn't say complex, but an egomaniac that doesn't really have any skill to justify her egomania. Her whole shtick is that she... Allie, she's an elder god. Listen, this is my list, and I will not take my interpretations are god. This is how I choose to interpret her. But the main reason I put her on this list is because she's a breeder. And that's the reason I put a lot of the girls on this list, is they have a breeding thing. Anyway, next one, 12. Sleepy Mita from Meside. She is literally me. When I played Meside, I had two sort of different dispositions while playing it. I was either screaming my fucking head off, or I was going, man, Sleepy Mita is literally me. She's just so sleepy. She's just an eepy girl. And she always manages to be sleepy when it's the least convenient, which, literally me. I am so sleepy right now, and I literally have to stream. But even though she's so eepy, she still tries her best. She's just really, really sleepy. I also really like her cat face mask. I used to wear one of those. I wore one of those throughout high school because I thought it made me cool. But it didn't. It just made it really hard for me to wake up. I have blackout curtains in my bedroom, and it's really hard to wake up because I just think that it's nighttime all the time, even though it's literally 11 a.m. Sleep masks are fun, but they're also kind of a hindrance. Anyway, number 13! Futaba from Persona! The way that I described her is that she's a very avoidant girl who's not very confident. She also gets in her own head a lot, which is the reason why she struggles to make friends. She's also very neurodivergent coded, which, if you know me, I'm ADHD to the core, so I can relate to her a lot. She's also, not the greatest at, connecting to people sometimes. I have a tendency to be very blunt about certain things, especially when it comes to, my special interests or when I'm trying to convey a point, and that can rub people the wrong way. And playing, just consuming a lot of the media that she's in made me realize that she is very much like me. Anyway, number 14. Noah Sugaya from My Dress-Up Darling. I had a lot of ear piercings a few years ago. Probably as many as her. I don't pierce those parts of my ears anymore, but I had a lot. I had the helix piercing, and I had everything. I had 4 piercings on each ear. She's also the designated short friend of the group. And look at her, just fucking look at her! When I watched this anime on my Discord server for the first time 3 years ago, I kept going, imposter! Whenever I see an anime girl with black and red, I'm just like, you're an imposter! I don't care if you did it before me. I'm gonna call you an imposter. My goodness. She also loves to ship Marin and Gojo, and I really love being the friend in my friend group that ships the people that are obviously interested in each other so they finally make a move. It's literally me. I also really like sweet things, and she loves her lollipops. And she's always trying to drag people out to do karaoke, and if you know me, I love me some karaoke. I really do. She's literally me. She is literally me. My goodness. I think she is best girl. Marin's great and all, but she's best girl because she's literally me. Okay, next girl. Palmy from Digital Circus. When the latest episode of Digital Circus came out, I got like 5 DMs within an hour of people telling me like, man, do you watch Digital Circus? I feel like you do really funny Palmy memes. I've voiced a lot of Palmy memes. She's also another chronically online, mentally ill girl sort of staple for people to say, like, you know, that's literally me. So, I acknowledge that I'm basic. Is she an anime girl? I'd say so. I mean, she was anime in that one episode. There was a cutscene where she was anime for like at least a few minutes. So, you know, she counts as an anime girl. She's technically an anime girl. I included the screen cap of her anime version because there was like a little cutscene that they did in one of the episodes where they were doing a school slice of life episode. So she's basically an anime girl. Yeah. Her personality is something that I can relate to a lot, especially in the first episode where, well, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's been out for a while, so. In the first episode, when she has to defend Ragatha, she chooses between, like, saving her own butt and helping her friend out, and she ends up just saving her own. Like, she ends up saving her own butt because she gets scared and, well, that's something I would do. I don't know. I like to think I'm a generally caring person, but I don't know if I would save. I don't know if I would save my friend. I don't know. Like, what else was she supposed to do in that situation? She was gonna become a glitch. She was gonna get all glitched the fuck out. She had to run, but still, in that situation, I wouldn't be selfless enough to sacrifice myself for my friends. I just run. I don't know. Allie admits she will leave us for dead. At least I'm honest. I'm working on it. Maybe one day I'll be really selfless. Thank you for the 10 gift subs. So, Jelly Bones, thank you. Thank you. But yeah, Pomni is literally me. I'd also just really like her voice actress. I think she's great. Here's another one. A disclaimer for a lot of the slides in this presentation. A lot of the slides in this presentation are gonna start with me when I'm ovulating. So that means it's not me all the time, but it's me when I'm in a very specific mood. So, Mia from Monster Musume. Me when I'm ovulating. I will get very obsessive with you if I designate you as my special interest. And she absolutely designates MC as her special interest. But if we want to get deep into the psychological part of it, I would say that I often portray myself as a relatively playful and ditzy person. But I do it intentionally. I do it to let you lower your guard so I can get in your head and get what I want from you. And also I have skills, and also she has the same general, like, I guess, thing going on for her that Ally 2.0 does. She got the scales and the glowing red eyes, the glowing gold eyes and the red hair. Yeah. Literally me. Love this anime, by the way. Anyway. You also probably knew that she was gonna be here. Once again, another mentally ill girl online staple for a literally me character. But the reason I say that she's literally me isn't because of her social anxiety. Yada yada blah blah blue blah, she has a hard time making friends. But what about her swag? What about her swag? I am also very swag. I relate to her swag on a deep metaphysical level. Please tell me that I am swag. Her whole thing is like whenever she's alone, she has these delusions of grandeur where she's just like, yeah, I'm the party person, I'm the life of the party, and she throws these imaginary scenarios in her head where she's like, you know, the it girl. And you know what? I do that too when I'm alone, which is all the time. And then I snap back to reality and I'm like, fuck, what the hell was I just doing? And it's really embarrassing and really depressing. That's why I say she's literally me. She also, much like Megumin, put all of her stat points into her special interest. Hers isn't making explosions, but she's a really damn good electric guitarist, and you know what? That's me with being a lewd anime girl online. I put all my stat points into that. I also really relate to the way that she made friends and got into her friend group. She was basically just adopted by a bunch of extroverts, and that's how I make a lot of my friends, especially on this side of the internet. But yeah, that's fun. We love Bocchi. Who's next? This is a deeper cut. I'd say that she's more literally me, not Kobeni. When I read about her storyline, it made me think a lot about how I was in high school. Yeah. I think she's very peak. I feel very, very insecure in social situations where I don't have control. And I feel like what I got from her story is that she wants to connect to people, but she doesn't know how. She also really loves her cats. And I love cats. I fucking love cats. She has a very gray sort of moral system where it's hard to explain it, but the way that I describe it is she's very consequentialist with the way that, does she know? Assume that I don't. But yeah, I considered her more literally me than Kobeni. Although a lot of people probably would have guessed that it would be her because I put Bocchi here. But the reason I put Bocchi wasn't her social anxiety, it's because she's really swag. 19! Frieren from Frieren! Holy fuck, she's literally me. Because as an Asian woman, I will probably live to 100, which is basically several thousand years. She cannot hide the fact that she's goofy, even when she often acts avoidant and ignorant to her own feelings. Not entirely intentionally. Sometimes, the whole point of the elves in Frieren is that they're not very good at tapping into their emotions, their empathetic side. She also really wants to make half-elf babies with Himel. She's a breeder and she doesn't know it yet. But yeah, Frieren is literally me. Does she though? That's how I interpret it. Remember, when I list these anime characters, I'm listing them and describing them through my own deluded, worldview. I'm using very, very strangely tinted glasses to look through every single bit of information that I remember of these characters, and I'm depicting them in my own way. And I think that's the best way to consume media, is through pure delusion. Anyway, speaking of pure delusion, number 20! Koneko from High School DxD. I've cosplayed her before, back when I was younger, and shouldn't have been watching High School DxD. She is absolutely a breeder. My goodness. And she's also a very big pervert. She was very good at hiding it at the beginning, but then she became a really, really big fucking pervert, towards the latter seasons. One of the deeper cuts about Koneko is that because she's obviously a fucking cat, I sort of saw her storyline as her having to learn to be more empathetic. because it didn't really come super naturally to her, or at the very least, like, the way that she expressed empathy was very different from how a lot of, like, people generally do. And that's something that I kind of related to a lot. She gets even more perverted in the books. That's very true. I like to think of myself as kind of a... Yeah, I like to think of myself as somebody that had to learn to be more empathetic, because I don't think it comes as naturally to me as I would want it to. In many ways, making audios has helped me embrace my emotions a lot more. If that makes sense. And that's why I really like her. She's also a cute cat girl, and I want to be a cute cat girl. Holy fuck. Number 21. Till from Alien Stage. He's a man, but he's also literally me. If I am in love, I will write songs, poems, sonnets about you. The way that I would describe his character is that he's a cheesy romantic who was forced to be this sanitized punk rock rebel. But in reality, he doesn't want to be that sort of brash, misunderstood guy. He just wants to write his silly love songs, bro. That is what I personally think. He also cares a lot about the people in his life, you know, his family from Nut Garden, his friends and everything, but he can also be a little bit superficial, which is one of the main reasons he ended up falling for Mizzy, the main protagonist of Alien Stage. He, like many others, just really liked her because she's pretty. I describe him as a guy who has head stuck in the clouds syndrome. He is very much a guy who lives in his own head and lives in his lyrics. And, you know, I'm gonna try and keep this brief, but if I had to describe his character to somebody for the first time, it would be Tsundere for sure, but more than that, he's just somebody who gets very flustered, like, very easily. He's a very emotional guy, and if he's, like, flustered or, like, nervous about something, he'll absolutely show it. And I think that that's literally me. He's super fucking cool. He's also a really good singer, and I can only hope to be half as good a singer as he is one day. He is literally me. But if you thought that this was the last character from Alien Stage that I would be presenting in this presentation, you would be wrong. Sua from Alien Stage is also somebody that I consider literally me, because despite the fact that I would run away from a freaking dying friend, I think that at the end of the day, I would also die for the people that I love. If I really had my arm twisted, I'd be like, fine, yes, I'll die for you because I love you. I also relate to her a lot because she would gladly be somebody's step stool, the recipient of their anger and frustration. That is her whole dynamic with Mizzy. She gets beat up by her in one of the comics, and she's just like smiling and hugging her after that. And for that reason, I consider her the subbiest of subby wubby sub-subs. She's codependent, she's clingy, she would do anything for you. All of us should try to be like Sua. And she also got that slutty little waist, if you know what I'm saying. A lot of her fan art is just her like arching her back, and that's how you know she's a big sub, bro. She just be arching all sorts of ways. I didn't even mean to censor it, but I find it kind of funny that I put a 1 instead of an L here. Yeah. Anyway, number 23. Number 23. Rika Takanashi from Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions. I like her because she's basically just Megumin in a different font. Why? Anyway, she's very delusional. She is incredibly delusional. It's the reason why delusion is in the literal fucking English translation of the title. When I was in middle school, I used to think eye patches were really cool. Whenever I draw my little stick figure whenever I draw like little stick figure comics, because I used to draw a little stick figure comic when I was in elementary school, I'd always make the main guy have an eye patch, because I thought eye patches were so fucking cool. She is very, very, very bad at telling fantasy from reality, which is probably one of my worst traits. Whenever I dream, it's not quite lucid dreaming. It's like the opposite of lucid dreaming. Because I'm not ever usually aware that what I'm dreaming is a dream. My dreams are very realistic to me. And that kind of transfers over in real life, because I daydream a lot. When I was younger, I absolutely lived in my own world. And so, like, 90% of the time, when I was younger, like, leading all the way up until high school, I was known as Headphones Girl, because I would always have my headphones on and I'd always be listening to some kind of OSD and imagining myself in anywhere but the place that I currently was. It was really bad. If I could get away with carrying my favorite weapon around with me, I would. That's so true. That's so true. Anyway, she's literally me. She's literally me. I will also give a disclaimer. When I say 100 anime girls, I really mean 100 anime girls. And naturally, that can be a little bit hard to come up with, so some of these are like, kinda just... You'll see. There's a point of the presentation where it's like, Jesus Christ. Thanks for the hydrate, gang. Thank you. Not cop-outs, just, you know, like, my analysis gets funny. Number 24. Ayame Kato from Shimoneta. I fucking love Shimoneta. She is who I become when I protest against Visa and MasterCard censorship. And I've said this multiple times, but they can pry Alekirser, my smut, my hentai out of my cold, dead fucking hands. They are not gonna take it from me. I fucking love this anime. She is a big pervert, a huge pervert, an unapologetic pervert. And she has a really bad sense of humor. Her whole sense of humor and her whole worldview is just watching and looking at everything with, like, smut-tinted glasses. She can see iron railings and instantly just jerk her hand up and down and be like, haha, that's funny. You get it? Because it's like a penis. Literally me. She's absolutely not somebody that you should look up to. And in the same sense, I'm not somebody that you should look up to either. I really don't understand why people listen to me or watch me. But because of that, I will do my best to do what I can with this responsibility. But at the end of the day, you know, as bodacious and strange as her acts of self-expression are, she does fight for, you know, freedom of expression. And I think that that's very admirable. I really like this anime, and the more the world becomes a scarier place, the more I turn to it and see it as an omen for how bad things can get if we let companies like Visa and MasterCard run things the way they currently are. Yes. Anyway. Okay, listen. I don't have a Brocon thing, alright? But the reason I say that she is literally me is because I don't know if you've noticed it in Allie's face, but the reason Allie looks like this, and the reason Allie always has her eyes like this, and the reason she's always smiling the way she is, because that's just how my face looks in real life. I always have this permanent shit-eating fucking grin on my face. And when I saw this, I was like, holy fuck, she's literally me. The reason I say she's literally me in terms of character, though, is because the way that she code switches between different groups of people is something that I relate to a lot. Whenever I'm around my parents or my family, they think I'm this, like, very polite, very good Christian girl. She used to do pageants, she used to do all this stuff, whatever. Whenever I'm at home, by myself, completely different story. Also, you should read the light novel. I think it's better than the anime. Anyway, literally me. Number 26. Name is Vermilion from Fairy Tail. She had a very weird childhood, just like me. I like to describe her as a playful brat that was thrust into a position of responsibility from an early age. I really love Fairy Tail. This is not going to be the last Fairy Tail character that you see in this presentation. I like to think that I can be very intentional with the things that I do. I have a lot of strategy that goes behind the decisions that I make in my day-to-day life, especially when it comes to running Alekirser. She's also totally a breeder. Like, she's canonically a breeder. She has a bunch. She has her. I'm not gonna talk about that. That's a bit of a spoiler. Anyway, that's also another spoiler. But the anime's been out for a long enough time, and the manga's been out for even longer, so I don't even fucking care. I had a big crush on her main love interest, Zeref Dragneel, when I was younger. I thought he was so cool. I think the reason I liked Zeref was for the same reason that I liked Zuko. They had that same kind of brooding, sad boy energy about them, and something about that really did it for preteen me. Yeah. And also, she's also somebody who's often lost in her delusions. Her whole power is making illusions come to life and making other people believe in those fantasies. And in many ways, that's what I do for a living. I make fantasies for a living. She's a character that I relate to on many levels. She is literally me. Yeah. This is mostly a joke. This is mostly a joke. You like to make things come to life? I sure do. Wink, wink. Okay. Hayase Nagatoro from Nagatoro. She's my favorite Filipina in anime. She's not actually Filipina, but that's the whole joke. I used to tan like that, man. I posted a joke tweet once where I was like face reveal and it was just a picture of Nagatoro and everybody in the comments was like, but you don't tan like that though, you pasty bitch. And I was like, I get it, okay? I get it, okay? Her relationship with her senpai is very, very interesting. She's very possessive around him. She's also very tsundere about her certain feelings. She kind of just does both. Actually, scrap that. She kind of just does everything. She's like almost every single Dara to ever exist. She's like at least 3 different types of Dara if you really think about it. She's pervy, she's bratty, she's fun. She just really loves her senpai. She's cool. I like her. She is just Dara. She is Nagatoro Dara. That's what she is. My favorite Filipina in anime, for real, for real. Next one. Number 28, Pia from Rune Factory 3. This is a very deep cut that nobody's gonna understand. I love Rune Factory, and you should play it if you like dating sims that are more than just dating sims. She is the mermaid who helps run the bathhouse in Rune Factory 3. And I love baths! I love baths! She's so whimsical, she's so clumsy, she's always making mistakes, she's kinda not all there mentally. Whenever she would make a mistake, I'd be like, aw, so cute. Literally me. Whenever she comes into contact with a body of water, that's when her tail comes out. And I thought that was really cute, like a really cute character design trait. But whenever she's not in contact with water, she just has these leggies. I think she's really cute. I think I just really want to... This is less literally me and more like, I hope this is how I come across as. Another thing that you should know about Rune Factory is that one of the main game mechanics is, at least in the earlier games, you make characters fall in love with you by just throwing their favorite things at them. It's really fucking funny. So the way to romance her is you just throw fruit at her every day. And it raises her affection points. And you know what? If you threw fruit at me every day, you would raise my affection points. I fucking love fruit. And that's why you should romance her each time. She's just a funny, funny little girl. And for that reason, she's literally me. It's the key to my heart is fruit. Yes. And number 29, another Rune Factory character. Wait, no, that's not Pia. Why does it say Pia? That's supposed to say Ludmila. Give me a second. Ludmila. We gotta refresh the presentation. It's cooked. We gotta refresh it. Okay. No, don't share it. Slideshow. Whoop. Oh, that's too big. There we go. Booyah. Ludmilla from Rune Factory 5. Rune Factory 5 wasn't my favorite entry in the franchise. In fact, it might be one of my least favorites, just because it was so different from everything else, and I'm somebody who doesn't really like when routine is disturbed. But she's basically just me when I'm ovulating. Her whole thing is she's a succubus. She can put but she's a very masochistic succubus. Her whole thing is that she wants to be punished real bad. She's a big brat. She wants punishment wherever she can take it. But there's more to her than that, you know? She has a big heart. She has a big heart, and she often oversexes her personality because she's afraid that if she lets too much of her guard down, she'll just hurt the people that get close to her. And I was like, man, that's so sad. Oh. She just makes the sex jokes because she doesn't want to convey her real feelings. That she too gets sad sometimes, and she too is like somebody that, you know, desires genuine affection and care from the people that she loves. Yeah, and she also likes the guys and the ladies. That's one of the main dynamics that was added in Rune Factory 5, was that you could romance any of the characters regardless of whether you picked the boy or girl character. And that was pretty fucking awesome. It's just a shame that the game was mid. It's just a shame that the game was a little mid. Number 30, Natsuki from DDLC. This is not a deep cut at all. My voice memes have been taken, spliced of their audio, and overlaid over Natsuki images since I can remember. Little bit of lore about me. I used to voice Natsuki memes, and I do fan dubs of Natsuki from DDLC back when I was like a lot younger and getting into voice acting for the first time. That was back when I still used like a Blue Yeti microphone. Yeah, no. Of all the girls in DDLC, none of them quite encapsulate literally me like Natsuki does. She's not very good at expressing her feelings, but she also manages to be incredibly blunt, which I think I can be. I can be quite a bitch sometimes. She's a big brat. She's the biggest brat. She's avoidant with her affection, but she also craves it. So that kind of leaves her in a bit of a situational dilemma where she's like, be nice to me, pay attention to me, but also don't. What the fuck? What's wrong with you? Literally me. She's like a cat. I think that's the takeaway from this presentation, is that I'm kind of just a cat. She's also tiny, and I'm also tiny. And I mentioned it here, I didn't realize that I already mentioned it. I voice many Natsuki memes. She is literally me. Yeah. I like her. She's great. Natsuki's great. DDLC is great. The only reason I haven't streamed it is because I've already played it so many times, to the point that I'd be quoting it if I played it on stream. Number 31, Rebecca from Cyberpunk Edgerunners. She is a tiny kaboomy brat. I'm a big fan of the trope of like really big weapon, tiny girl. And she's the epitome of that. She has some big ass guns. And one of the deeper cuts about her character that I wanted to include here, just so it doesn't seem like, oh, it's because she's a tiny little devious troublemaker. The reason I wanted to include this line over here is because I think her character is very, very important. Her whole thing is that if she loves someone, she wants what's the best for them, even if it's not her. I largely interpreted her relationship with David as her, like, basically just letting him go. And you know, I mentioned this in a lot of these. There's like a lot of very common themes in the characters that I say are literally me. She's a very crass girl. She likes to, she's very outspoken when she needs to be, and that gets her into a lot of trouble. And she also cares a lot about her friends.
Yeah.
You'd put your feelings aside if your interest loved someone else? Absolutely. Because I think that's the biggest point of love. Is not, like, I don't know. Like, there's obviously the yandere fantasy to it of, like, somebody loves you so much that they won't let you love anybody else. But the healthier, more realistic expression of that is being able to let someone go if you know that you're not the best person for them. Number 32. Ayumu Kasuga from Azumanga Daioh. Oh my god, she's literally me! She's literally me! Satayandagi! America! She's a big dummy! She is so fucking stupid! She's distracted by everything. She's ADHD as fuck. She daydreams all the time. She has this really, really funny habit of just like being a walking like barrel of non sequiturs, where she's constantly just hopping into conversations with really, really weird, completely unrelated things. She is literally me. And she was my profile picture on on my first Twitter for a really long time. Just her staring with that thousand yard fucking stare. She's literally me. Anyway, 33. Umaru Doma from Himoto Umaru-chan. We're getting into the gremlin characters. Her whole thing is that whenever she's outside, she's this perfect, just shining example of, like, you know, a polite, modest girl. But when she's at home, she becomes this absolute chaotic gremlin, lazy, monstrous mess of a chibi girl. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. You know, I like to be a big dumb baby when I'm allowed to be. I cry a lot. But I also like to think I can be professional and keep it together when I have to be. It's just not my default. She has her cat plushie that she really likes that her brother got her, and I have like 10. I have a lot of cat plushies. And what did I write over here? Oh, I mentally regress around those I feel comfortable with. That's true. It's very true. Hey Savi, what's up? How you doing? How you been? Let me give you a shout out. Welcome to one of my worst stream ideas of all time. I really like this anime. You guys should watch it. We should watch it. It will be fun. I don't think I need to say anything else. She's just literally me. Number 34. Darkness from Konosuba. I already explained why Megumin is literally me. But I've recently learned that darkness may also, in fact, be literally me. But specifically me when I'm ovulating. Thank you for the gifts of the Savvy Voltius boy. Thank you. She can take a lot of punishment. She is her party's tank. And you know, the funny thing about her is that she's just very, very flanderized to the point of where, like, it makes sense why she's a meme. She just does her whole masochism thing, gets the laughs, and it's great. That's me. I'm a very, very consistent girl. All I do is joke about not having big tits, make lewd jokes about tits, and talk about tits. We're kind of basically the same person. She also has a lot of lewd fantasies about being taken advantage of by big, strong monsters. And you know, after that Monster Girl presentation, you know for a fact that I am a big monster fucker. You already know that for a fact. But deep down, she is somebody that cares a lot about her friends, and she is somebody that has a very, very strong sense of justice. But as with many of the characters in Konosuba, I would describe her as somebody that has good morals, but misguided execution. She wants to be a knight so bad, and she ends up being a really good, addition to her squad, but for a completely different reason. Fucking love darkness. Number 35. Azusa Nakano from K-On. What is this weird music? I don't want to get DMCA'd. Let's go back to our safe video game music. There we go. This one's also self-explanatory. I'm a big K-On fan. When K-On first came out, that was when I started watching it, and I don't know. I watch it every time I get sad. It's something that I go to whenever I'm in need of comfort. K-On is an anime that I hold very, very true to my heart. I love this show so much. If I were to binge another anime show on my Discord server, this would probably be the next one on the chopping block. I relate to her a lot because I was always the youngest in the group whenever I'd make friend groups. I'd always be comically younger than a lot of my friends. You know, again, I mentioned that she can be blind to a fault. That's a trait that I have. She gets picked on a lot by her friends. But the whole thing is that I'd like to think that she secretly likes it, which, you know, you'll have to really twist my arm to get me to admit that, but this is a literally me presentation, so I will admit that. She's also very passionate about music. She gets mad at her senpais whenever they goof off too much and don't take things seriously. She had a bit of a crash out about it in one of the episodes. And I, too, nut when I hear good music. That's the reason why she joined the Light Music Club. She just really fucking loves music. And she's somebody who takes her work ethic, the things that she does, very seriously. She's a big planner. And for that reason, she is literally me. Yeah. She also tans well, which when I was younger, that was something I related to. But now that I never tan and I'm just pasty and white forever, I can't relate to it very much. But that part would have been literally me when I was younger. I gotta get back on it. I can't. I keep trying. It's not, I can't do it anymore. Number 36. Mia from K-On. I relate to a bunch of characters in K-On, but she's somebody that I relate to in many ways as well. I am very easily embarrassed. I'm often the butt of jokes. Both of these two are kind of the butt of jokes in the Light Music Club. She wants attention, but she's also really bad at handling attention. Her overcoming her stage fright and her fears of performing were a big part of her character arc. I'm not very good at handling horror, which is the reason why I've been doing horror Sundays every Sunday. She's always exposed to it for some odd reason, which I really find very funny. And throughout the course of the anime, one of my favorite things about her is that she has a really fun and really wholesome character arc. She slowly learns how to embrace affection from the friends that are surrounding her, and slowly she becomes a lot more chill and a lot less anxious. I really like her. She's great. K-On is great. You should watch it. Who's number 37? I don't know if you guys have watched this. Girl from Toru Norelgan. She is, you should watch this. If you're based, if you know this anime, it's a really great anime. She's very blunt. She's very much the comic relief lewd character of the series because she's so obsessed with her friend. Yeah. She's just neat. I I really like this anime. It's not the first time you'll see it. We're gonna get to the very self-deprecating part of this presentation. You know how I said that a lot of the time, like, while I was making this, I would pick, like, the worst possible character traits in all the characters that I chose? And just pointed at them and said, yeah, no, those traits, those negative traits are literally me. She's kind of a prime example of that. She's bad at a lot of things. She's very clumsy, and she's very insecure about the fact that she's very bad at things. She's also somebody that's a little naive and trusts people a little bit too easily. But at the same time, with that in mind, she also doesn't like being a burden on the people around her, which, when I think about that, I'm like, holy fuck, that's literally me. But she has one good trait, and that's that she doesn't give up. If mainly because the anime doesn't let her give up. She's literally me. Yeah. Hallelujah. Anyway, what's next? Number 39! I love this anime. It's Anispia Win Palacia from The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady. I've read every single bit of this manga. It's one of my favorites. And one thing that I really like about her character is that if I was in a magical world, I'd be just like her. I would be unlucky enough to be one of the only people that was born without powers. That's just how my stats tend to roll. You saw me play Uma Musume. My luck is astronomically terrible. That being said, I wouldn't say that her being unlucky is at all a defining trait of her character. She's a very smart person when it comes to her special interests. She's a very determined person. She cares about magic and magic tech more than anybody. But the thing that really got me to say, man, she's literally me, is that she's always been the weirdo of her family. But even with that in mind, she never let it get to her, and she just stayed, you know, inventing, making stuff. She was committed to her shtick even when it got weird. And she's also somebody that doesn't like to pretend to be anybody but who she is. She is somebody that doesn't even try to, like, put on the kayfabe of being the royal princess that she is. And for me, one of the main things that I do with my VTubing is I don't try to do kayfabe too much, because kayfabe makes me really tired. And it just doesn't, I just can't kayfabe for very long, so yeah. I like to see a lot of these traits as very relatable. It's a great manga, you should read it. Beautiful art. It's really nice. Yes. What's next? Terakomi Ganda's Blood from the Vexations of a Shut-In Vampire Princess. This is another deep cut. Her whole thing is that she is a shut-in vampire princess. I'm not blonde. I was blonde for a year. I was blonde for a year when I was in my ABG phase. Not very proud of it. Blonde does not suit me at all. Anyway, she's very bratty. She's incredibly bratty. Her whole thing is that she's like, you know, she cares very deeply about people, but she does so from a distance. Because of some things that happened to her in the past that forced her to be a shut-in. She has a lot of interests that I personally resonate with. Her whole thing is that even though she's a vampire, she isn't really actually very into the whole sucking blood thing, but she kind of has to pretend to be, just so she can put herself, like, assert her, like, authority. And, I don't know. Back when I was, like, cosplaying as a good Christian girl, I kind of like to be that annoying, like, girl at church that was like, oh yeah, but do you know, Deuteronomy 13 verse 7? Like, I was really fucking annoying. Basically just, like, checking people. Yeah, and I think that's the reason why I don't like pretending to be anybody but who I am, because it gets really tiring. I don't want to be that person. Yeah. But the one thing that I don't relate to her on is that she's constantly, you know, rejecting Vilhaze's, like, affections. But I think Vilhaze is a baddie, so whatever. Anyway, number 41, Hala from Spice and Wolf. She's a breeder. She's a breeder. I love wolf girls. Woo, bro. Holy crap. She is somebody that is very playful with her affections, but also has a very deep fear of ending up alone, being shrugged off to the side. Something that I relate to very dearly. I also really like getting people to buy food for me, which is something that she really likes to do. But she's also somebody that's very possessive of MC and gets very jealous whenever he hangs around other girls, which, you know, fucking same. Number 42. Yuruya Momochi from Princess Connect Retype. She's really just a cat. Once again, she's literally just a cat. I'm literally just a cat. She's evil, but she's also just a cat. Yeah. I don't think I really have to say anything else. She's just a cat. Dun 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 dun. Number 43. We're gonna get into some of the deeper cuts here that I really had to kind of like stretch a little bit. Micah from Blendust. I have very evil eyes, so whenever like her whole gag is that she gets like a really sadistic look on her face. But she doesn't like that about herself. She doesn't like that she comes off as like really sadistic and scary. I have pretty evil eyes. And combine that with like my shit-eating grin, like it gives people the wrong impression about me. I also relate to the fact that she's often forced to take on a dommy and sadist role because of... This is a bit of projection on my part. She doesn't do that for silly internet men, but I have to, because always everybody's like coming up on my fucking business being like, oh, where's the new Dommy audio, Allie? When are you gonna be more mommy? When are you gonna be more dommy? When are you gonna like, you know, put me in my place? And I'm like, that's not my thing. But she's just forced into it because of, you know, the people around her. But the thing is, she also gets very apologetic for the fact that she has a very evil face. She's like, she gets really apologetic whenever she has to do her job and like be sadistic towards these people. Yeah. Anyway, just let me be a sub, goddammit. Number 44. If you know what this franchise is, I know exactly who you are. You better not fucking know what this franchise is. You better not know what this franchise is. Don't. I'm just gonna leave this here. I'm just gonna leave this here, and we're just gonna move on. Anyway. She is literally me. This whole franchise is about a school called St. Michael's. And it's an all-girls school where just look it up. I don't like it's yeah. It's a very, very deep cut. It's incredibly niche. This game is so niche that I'm pretty sure that it isn't even on Steam anymore. The only way that you can download it is if you like find forums online. Like really dodgy forums online from like 2009. I'm pretty sure that it's not on Steam, and I don't blame it for not being on Steam. There are some games that I don't really vibe with, but their game, like, I really liked because it's really sweet. Anyway. Next one. Yuko Yoshida from Machikado Mazoku. And the reason I have her up on here is because should I play it? I'm gonna play it. That's the main reason she's here. I fell asleep to that once. I played the 10-hour version and I fell asleep to it. Yeah. She's a sweet girl. She had a very sheltered childhood, which is something that I relate to a lot. But even with that in mind, she still managed to like educate herself about like certain things, and you know, she tries her best. She's a real sweet girl. I like her a lot. Number 46. Sarah and Crow from Out of Touch. And the reason I say they're literally me is because they are. I voiced both of them. I voiced both of them. It's a great game. You should play it. Sarah's the ditzy bimbo girl that you see over here. She's a whole sweetheart. Her kink is just genuine emotional connection and satisfaction. The person, she's bonded to the MC in a very spiritual way. So whenever he feels pleasure, she feels the pleasure that he feels too. And it's very fucking cool. It's very based. She's somebody that I would say is like somebody that has just really good intentions. She's a sunshine sweetheart. She is just a total ball of sunshine. And Crow over here is basically the result of when you have good intentions. She is a total bitch. She is the complete opposite, but also not. I had to voice like a really long monologue where she basically just disses every single character in the game, and it was really fucking funny. It was probably one of the most fulfilling parts of my voice acting career. She's just a total bitch, and I can resonate with that on a very spiritual level sometimes. You can play it for free on itch.io. It's really great. Anyway, number 47. Umega Konohashi from Hoshizuku Telepath. I really like this anime. She is very passionate about the things that she's passionate about, which is space and aliens. And you know what? I fuck with space and aliens too. She also has a really cute character design, so I kind of just included her because I thought she looked cute. She has a very tough time talking to others, but that's mainly because she's so, like, bogged down in her special interests. And there's this whole, like, part of the anime where she slowly gets more confident after she learns how to, like, build a rocket and successfully builds a rocket. It's really fucking cool. Anyway. Number 48. You know, I'm kind of not feeling this one anymore. The one trait that I do share with her is that she obsessively collects memorabilia of idols. She's very dummy, but in a very specific set of circumstances. I'm not really feeling this one anymore. Number 49. I do have a penchant for magical girl anime and magical girl manga. It's really nice. Clara Valak from Mairi Mashita Iruma-kun. I really like this anime. It's been a while and I've only watched it once, but I really liked it. She's often portrayed as this very annoying girl. But people mainly keep her around because they think she's convenient to have around. And sometimes I can feel sometimes I feel like I'm bothered, but I feel like I can if the reason I'm still around is because I'm convenient and useful. I told you this becomes less of a presentation and more of a therapy session the longer I get. That's really sad. But you know, That's the reason why I think she's literally me. Yeah. These get really sad. I'm just giving you a warning. A relationship is transactional, but she slowly comes to a point where she finds like genuine love and deep and unconditional connection, and that's really nice. Okay, number 50. Chika from Kaguya-sama, Love is War. She is literally me. I unintentionally cockblock my friends. I'm very bad at reading situations. I also am very, very fond of coming up with strange activities to entertain the people around me. This presentation being a prime example of that. That is literally what I'm doing for you right now, chat. The Chica dance. I'll do it when I get my 3D model. It'll be real nice. She also likes to cheat at board games, and well, because I want to be as honest as possible with this presentation, I cheat at board games. I'm admitting it. I cheated board games. I cheated at Monopoly. No, I didn't. I cheated at Monopoly by fucking... I didn't steal any money. I did everything I could to be as honest as possible, but I also like kind of forfeited and said that I won. So in that way, that in that sense, I cheated. I'll admit that. I forfeited because I had a feeling you would win. So I was just like, I can find victory in a draw. I get it, okay? I'm admitting this. Honesty is the best policy. You want a rematch? No. I mean, what? That's funny. Number 51. Another mentally ill girl online staple. I think she's kind of who Celestia Lodenberg from Danganronpa. I feel like she's kind of who I fear I could be. Because she's very evil. She's not a good person. She's very, very committed to her goals. She's a very, very bratty princess-like character. She's very smug. She's arrogant. She'll do anything to get what she wants. And sometimes I fear that I might be like that. Sometimes I feel like I'm sacrificing the wrong things to get closer to goals that I don't even think are good goals to have. She's kind of who I fear I could be. That's why I said here, I see her as a manifestation of my worst traits in their most extreme form. The ultimate gambler too. Number 52. This one's a bit of a, this one was more like, I just really like working. I kind of related to her a little bit, like in the sense that she's like a bit of a little sister type character. I'm the youngest sister. I'm the youngest in my family. I had a bit of a complex for being mistaken for younger when I was growing up. Like, in university, I was literally in my last year, and I would constantly get mistaken for being like a touring high school student. And there was literally a fucking freshman that approached me when I was in my senior year and asked me, like, you know, if I was in their course. It was like a 101 course or something like that. And I just have a bit of a complex about that. I like being recognized as being my age. Do I still get carded? Of course I still get carded. Everybody still gets carded. Yeah. I also measure my height a lot. And thankfully by the end she does find out that she grew, which still waiting for that to happen to me, but it's okay. Number 53. She's just a brat, says Anka from Konoichi Tsubaki. I just really like this anime. She's just a brat. This is an anime that I want to rant about. I watched all of it. Thank you for the Prime sub, laminated card. Thank you. Have you guys watched Katanagatari? It is a great anime. It is so fucking good. You guys need to watch this. It is so fucking amazing. I've watched it so many times by now. Super fucking underrated. She is the depiction of me when I'm at the height of my egomania. She is so fucking full of herself. She is the brattiest fucking princess. She's also very clumsy. She's just a very endearing character. I like to think I can be endearing sometimes. She's a strategist, or tactician in her words, but she can have very strange judgment calls that don't always land them in the most savory of conditions. But she's also very possessive of MC. The whole thing about MC is that he's like a swordsman who doesn't use a sword. It's really fucking cool premise, and the whole point of the anime is that they go around collecting swords, and yeah. I also call her the size difference queen because she's really tiny, but MC is like really fucking tall. Yeah, she gets really jealous. She's great. She's literally me. If I had to cosplay an anime character, I would love to cosplay her, because she's literally me. Holy fuck. You gotta watch this. It's really good. Tifa from Final Fantasy. I just used to cosplay her a lot. I wish I had her personality. The only reason I included her is because I used to cosplay her a lot. I literally don't really share many traits with her. That's the only reason she's on this list. The only reason she's on this list is purely because I used to cosplay her because she was easy. It's because her whole cosplay is so fucking easy, and I don't even need to buy a wig. But I don't have much in common with her personality traits. She's just too good a person for me to be. I don't see Tifa at all. That's why I said it's not personality-wise. I just used to cosplay her a lot. Strictly because she was easy to cosplay. When I say that these characters are literally me, the definition of literally me gets bended a lot. In one of these, the entries is literally like, I don't even remember much about this anime. I don't even remember if I fully watched it. I just took an online test and they told me that she was literally me. So I was like, okay, sure, why not? It's like, this is a whole spectrum. Not all of these are gonna be deep. Moriko from Netoju. I also spend my days online as a character to find satisfaction that I cannot find in real life. She's literally me. I too left all of my respectable real-life career prospects to be an anime girl online. She is literally me. I too overanalyze things to the point of exhaustion and overwhelming feelings of stress and nausea. She is literally me. These get worse. I really like this anime. It's a really good anime. She is literally me. Number 57. Sawako Koronuma from Kimi ni Todoke. I love this anime so much. It's so fucking cute. When I think of slice of life and romance, I think of this. I love this. I love this anime so much, and the art style is so gorgeous. When I was younger, I had really long hair. Like, I've had long hair for all of my life. I don't think I'll ever not have long hair. But because I had such long hair, it got to a point where I also would get compared to freaking Sadako from The Ring, because I'd always have it in my face. And people would always say that I looked scary when I had it in my face. This was a really fluffy anime. I love it so much. She's a big romantic. She gets flustered. She's just a little, she's a cute guy. She's literally me. She's literally me. She's also somebody that, like, is genuinely a good person, which I don't relate to as much because I don't think of myself as a very good person. But, throughout the anime, she is somebody that likes to, like, give advice to people and help people. But she's not very good at taking her own advice, which I think is also a literally me trait. And towards the start of the series, she really was portrayed as somebody who would isolate herself to avoid being a burden to other people, which is something that you'll see a lot more of as we go deeper in the presentation. Yeah. But I just really like this anime. It's really sweet. I'm a really big sucker for slice of life that's just fluffy and makes you feel good. Another example of a fluffy slice of life romance anime is The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. That's one of my favorites. It's so sweet. It's literally just sweetness overload and doesn't try to be anything but that. And it works. It really does. I have a feeling Panty and Stocking is coming up on the list at some point. Can I surprise you? There are no Panty and Stocking characters on this list. I have no idea why. I love that anime, but for some reason I don't know why I didn't add any of them. But if there was somebody, who would you think it would be? Because we can always revise the list later. It's crazy? Isn't that crazy? I'm beginning to lose hope in my guess. Well, let's just keep going. Let's see what we have. I hate this anime. This anime was a fucking mess. Literally the main thing was like, I was like, oh, cute bunny girl. She's very obsessive. She's very good at stalking. The whole thing about this anime is that every single girl has a trait. Like a pervy trait. And hers is just being a stalker. And I was like, you know what? Literally me. This anime. Once again, this anime is a fucking mess. But she's also the subbiest sub to ever sub. And whenever I see a character as subby as this, like literal fucking darkness level sub, I'm like, I have to include them. She's a big masochist. She's big into pet play. She literally wants MC to make her his pet. She's a poppy girl, full like through and through. And, you know, like, literally me. Once again, please don't judge me. But she reminds me a lot of how I was when I was younger. She definitely writes fan fiction. She's a very big shipper. And she's very, 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 very imaginative whenever it comes to lewd things. Like, this is literally just how I saw, like, my middle school self as. Because I wrote so much fucking fan fiction. Do not watch this anime, though. It's really fucking funny. Like in a weird way. This anime, though, you should absolutely watch. Psyche's great. Suzumoya Hi from Psyche K. Psyche is one of my favorite anime. If you want something that's really easy to watch, really quick, makes you feel happy, makes you feel like, you know, in a giggly mood, you should watch Psyche K. The whole format of the anime is really interesting. It's very snappy. It's very much just like a bunch of comic gags, and like it doesn't try to make its characters any deeper than they need to be. They absolutely are just like walking tropes. And I really like it. Psyche's really fucking funny. The reason I say she's literally me is she's constantly getting into accidents, and she has the worst fucking luck in the world. And even with that, she still tries to pull it together. She still tries to pull through. She is the definition of a Sigma. When she introduced herself at school for the first time, she was literally hit by like a fucking van or car or some shit. And she was like all bruised up, barely able to walk, but she still managed to be like, hi, my name is blah 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 blah. And then she wrote her name with fucking blood on the chalkboard. And I thought that went super fucking hard. I don't know. Once again, these anime get really deep with the cuts, as like in her case, literally the further we go in this presentation. She's metal as fuck. Number 62. Mikoto Urabe from Mysterious Girlfriend X. Apparently this is just how my family sees me. She wants affection, but she gets flustered very easily. She's very possessive with MC. She's really, her whole thing is she's a big drooler. Holy crap, she's a drooler. She's a very big drooler. And you know what? Me too. I'm a big drooler too. I used to be a big drooler when I was younger. I'm so sorry. This is a bad, I don't know if I should. This stream is so self-reporty, but yeah, I'm a big drooler. Like, I always sleep with my mouth open like a fucking bear. I'm a big cheerleader. Yeah, anyway, you should watch this anime and read the manga. It's funny. It's nice. Chizuru Minamoto from Kanakon. She's basically just me when I'm ovulating. Again, you're gonna be seeing this very often. Her whole thing is she likes to make lewd jokes. She has a very, very weird sense of humor. And the reason I relate to that is because even though she's really pervy, it doesn't make her feelings any less genuine. I feel like a lot of people think that just because somebody is very, like, sexually open and expressive, it means that they're not, like, to be taken seriously. But I like to think of myself as somebody that enjoys both things. I like to think that I am a massive pervert, but I also can be serious and get down to the heartfelt stuff when I need to. But once again, she is me when I'm ovulating. She is a very forward girl. And I'm not normally like that. So she's only literally me sometimes. Yeah. Number 64. Akotamaki from Netoge no Yome. I, too, skipped a lot of my classes towards the end of my schooling because of my hyperfixations. And her whole thing is that she skipped a lot of school because she got really, really into online stuff. Most of my socialization is also online, too. I skipped a lot of school, a lot of classes towards the end of my degree. Because a lot of, like, my defense is that I already knew what I wanted to do, but also because, like, a lot of the classes that I had were ones that I could self-teach, so I didn't really see a need to go to class, if you know what I mean. But yeah, no, I would skip a lot of school to focus on my hyperfixations. Don't follow me. Stay in school, everybody. She has a lot of abandonment issues, which are explored sometimes, and literally me. And she's also very jealous, but the thing that I like about her brand of jealousy is that she doesn't really act on her jealousy. She kind of just stews in it and lets it make her feel bad. And that's also literally me. I like to think of myself as somebody that can be reasonable, but I also get jealous really, really easily, and that's one of my more negative traits. Yeah. Number 65. Louise Francois Leblanc de la Villiers from Zero no Tsukaima. You called this one? She's somebody that I consider literally me in many ways. She wants to be like this graceful, sort of angelic girl so bad, but she's also very impatient and very reckless and very brash. And she also has a very desperate need to prove herself, which I do too. What did I write over here? I too would have a spellcast rate of 0 and would be very bad at magic if I lived in a magical world. So true. So true. So true. You should watch this. It's a really good anime, but again, it's like you can tell by the art style. It's been a while since I've watched this. It's a deeper cut. Mm-hmm. Number 66. This is one of the looser ones. Setakai Yakuin Domo Shino Umukusa. She's a very big pervert, but she's also like the upstanding sort of student council president that doesn't really show that side of herself very much. But when she does, her imagination runs real crazy. She has a lot of very tsundere, kind of very easy to make fun of her sort of traits, which I kind of do too. Yeah, no, she's one of the looser connections because it's not like a very deep or profound anime plot in many ways, but yeah, no, literally me. This is another emote type character that I think of a bunch. Mafuyu from Blend S. She's another Blend S character. She's from the same anime as the girl with the evil glare. She wants to be taken seriously. She's constantly being typecast as like the brat and like the little sister emote type characters. But like, you know, she wants to be able to drink beer. She wants to be able to like be seen as like, you know, like mature and stuff. And she's very jealous of people that are more well endowed than her, and literally me. Small funny girl. Wants to be taken seriously. It's almost like that's half the characters on this list. She was the most real one. Yeah, she really was. And I see, like, I can see how that be, like, how I am a little bit when I'm off duty. 68. I get a lot of requests. This is one of the ones where it's more of like a submission that I got from chatters. I get a lot of requests to voice memes that she's in. I haven't actually consumed a lot of Toho content, but I am very open to being informed about what her deal is. So if you could tell me a bit, could you tell me a bit, Toho enjoyers, why people might submit this as a character for me to voice? I would like to know, because I personally don't. I don't know much about this. Obama? Go for it, Obama. Go for it, Obama. I'm a difficult boss to beat. I don't know. If I was a boss, I'd probably be like a second level boss. Not first level, but definitely not, you know, all that up there. No thoughts, head empty? Is that her whole thing? Well, I guess that's literally me. I too am no thoughts, head empty. I don't know. Number 69. Nico from Love Live. Nico ni, motherfucker. Once again, I get a lot of requests to voice memes and content with her. She is a humongous brat. She is a humongous brat. And she's my personal favorite Love Live character besides Maki. I just really like that she's cute and arrogant and easy to make fun of. Literally me. I unironically hate her. And that's why I love her. Not because you specifically hate her, but because I have a penchant for characters that are just really bratty and really annoying. Because that's how I see myself as. That's how I see myself as. I see myself as somebody that's annoying and bratty. But I also really like Maki. Maki's really fucking cool, but I wouldn't say she's literally me. Yeah. Oh, we're getting real deep into the video game bangers playlist of this one. Number 70, Yotsuba Nakano from the Quintessential Quintuplets. The notes that I have for her here are big breeder propaganda. Big breeder propaganda. She's a very hyperactive girl. Like, whenever I read like doujins of her, she's always portrayed as this like very trad wife type girl. She also kind of, I relate to the sporty side of her a lot because when I was in high school, I used to run track. And I'd like to think I was pretty good at track. She's a very good runner. She has very high stamina, like me. And she's also very, 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 very comically bad at lying, like me. Yeah. Yeah. Fun fact, I was supposed to be in an audio about the Quintessential Quintuplets, but it fell through. It's one of, like, the first collabs I was supposed to do, but it fell through. Unfortunate. Yeah. What's number 71? I'm genuinely curious. Mai from, no, very few people are gonna know this one. This is just a manga that I like to read. Ukomade amai watashi no kanojo. It's basically about having a succubus girlfriend. I really like this one. Her whole thing is that she's a baker. She likes to bake treats for the people that she loves. She works at a cafe. She's had a really, really bad string of relationships. She's scared of romance for that reason. I'm just scared of, I just fit the scared of romance bit of that, but, you know, she's scared of romance, she's scared of opening her feelings, but she's a really sweet girl. She also really likes sweets, which makes sense because she works at a cafe. And you know what? Fuck it. I also want a succubus to stalk me everywhere I go. That'd be fucking fun. That'd be nice. She's not a succubus. She's not a succubus. The other main character is a succubus. Yeah, but it's a really nice lighthearted read. Number 72, Girls und Panzer. You already know this wouldn't be a top 100 anime girls that are literally me list if we didn't have at least a little bit of Girls und Panzer in this, bro. Girls und Panzer is one of the best anime to exist in all of anime history. I have this capitalized here, victory at all costs. She's a very, very competitive girl. I, too, can relate to her because she's very, very arrogant and very, very prideful and takes a lot of pride in what she does. And I like to consider myself somebody who's very, very arrogant about the things that I'm good at. So, yeah. And she's also very small. She's ridiculously small. And then there's one deep cut note over here where she says, where I said, my closest friends often act as motherly figures for me. I'm very used to being the youngest in the group. So, and my parents would be away for work a lot. So I ended up looking up to like the sort of older sister, sort of motherly figures in my life for a lot of advice. And so I'm kind of used to that. A lot of my friends end up being like sort of like older sister advice giving figures for me. I'm very used to that. Yeah. Number 73, Arisa from Girls und Panzer. She is the brattiest princess. She is so fucking bratty. She gets very, very nervous and doesn't do very well under pressure, which, if you've watched any of my streams where anything goes wrong, I'm terrible at handling things under pressure. I crack. I become an egg on the sidewalk of a hot Arizona summer. She is very sensitive with her feelings, and because of that, she tends to be a little avoidant and shut off. Whenever she gets teased, she gets really, really sensitive about it, which, you know, as somebody that's very bad at taking criticism, I see that as a relatable trait. And I mention it here that she kind of represents my more negative traits in many ways.
Yeah.
But you already knew that we had to have some Girls in Panzer in this. Let's see. Number 74, Olivia from Asobios Asobase. This anime is really good. If you want to watch something that's just really, really funny, I highly recommend you watch this. The image is really bright. She's supposed to be this foreign exchange student girl, so they made her as bright as fucking possible. This anime is so good, and yes, the ED goes nuts. Her whole, like, one thing that I found relatable in her is that, she faked accents when she moved to this school to, like, mess with people. And I used to do that all the time, because I moved around a lot when I was a kid. And so, eventually, because I knew that I wouldn't stay at a school for very long, I kind of just made a new identity wherever I would go. And so I would fake really shitty accents whenever I'd be like introduced at school, because I knew that I would only stay there for like a few months or like not very long. Class of 09. I'm not Nicole. I'm not Nicole. Nicole became an actual terrible person. I like to think that I just like to have fun with it. But yeah, I would move schools a lot when I was younger. And I love to fake accents to mess with people. And eventually I'd have to drop it because I'd forget what accent I was faking. And it would be really funny. Is this how you develop tulpas? It absolutely is. She's also really dumb. She's really dumb. She's dumb and she's also an enabler. Her whole thing is that she loves to enable the mischievousness that the other girls get up to. And for these reasons, she is literally me. Number 75. A lot of these are just gonna be, she's literally me because she's really fucking stupid. Yoshiko Hanabatake from Aho Girl. She is really fucking stupid, and that's why she's literally me. She also really likes bananas. Like, that is something that is mentioned as being a defining trait of her character, is that she really loves bananas. You can tell there is no thought or brainwave stimulation going on behind those eyes of hers. What you see is what you fucking get. And you know what? Sometimes that is literally me. No thoughts. Head empty. Don't pay attention to these last 2 bullet points. I added those because I was trying to be silly. Number 76. I can't believe I actually... I just thought it would be funny to add her. I just thought it would be funny.
And a little bit of chicken fried. Cold beer on Friday night. A pair of jeans that fit just right. And the radio, I like to see sunrise. See the love in my woman's eye. Feel the touch of a precious child. And no love that's known.
Literally me. I think that slide kind of explains itself. I'd say so. Number 77. Nope.
And a little bit.
Nope. Stop it. Number 77. Yuzuki Seo from Gekkan Shoujo no Zaki-kun. Fun fact about Gekkan Shoujo no Zaki-kun, actually. I read the manga first, and I followed the manga first very religiously. I had a Tumblr blog dedicated to it because I was so obsessed with it. And I would help do some fan translations sometimes. Like, I would help with that. It was mainly when I was in my abridged my abridged dubbing phase. We would kind of like mistranslate things on purpose just to make it funny. Her whole thing is that she's like the ace of her school choir, and while I wouldn't consider myself the ace of my school choir, I was definitely the biggest diva at my school and church choirs. I was definitely the most dramatic fucking person in my church and school choirs. I would always be so fucking competitive for the solos. She can be very brash and very blunt. She's somebody that definitely doesn't mince her words. And, you know, her whole thing is that she is practically involved in almost everything. It's a little hard to get a hold of her because she's always participating in all sorts of different extracurricular activities. And when I was younger, that's the main way that I tried to make friends, was joining a lot of extracurriculars because I didn't know how to make friends otherwise. And yeah, she gets very competitive. But I mainly included her because the choir thing made me think, man, she's literally me. Yeah, I canonically slay indeed. Number 78, Koyanagi Kaho from There's No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover. I hate this manga. Let it be known that I hate this manga with a passion, but this character is so literally me that it overrides my hate for this manga. I fucking hate this manga. I hate this anime with a burning passion. And you know why? It has the most substandard fucking plot I've ever fucking seen in a Yuri manga. It has this weird Yuri NTR subplot that it made me freaking... I hated it so much. But you know what? Maybe I'm just salty. Because if I was in a romance harem anime, I'd probably be the girl that got the least screen time too. Which is what she is. I don't fucking care if it's Yuri. I hate NTR. I really hate NTR. My goodness. Also, the reason I included her is because her whole thing is that she's secretly like a really big cosplayer, and while I'm not a cosplayer, I often feel like I have to hide my big online personality that kind of overshadows everything else in my life. She's also a really good friend. She's a really good friend. She's one of the only non-toxic girls in the whole manga. And she's not actually in the weird-ass fucking harem that forms, which is why she's literally me. You thought the anime was good? Listen, the reason you think that the anime is good is because you didn't get to the weird, deranged fucking, like, subplot that eventually became the main plot of the story. You did not read the manga. The only reason I read the manga is because I saw that it had really good art, and I really like good art. But when it becomes what it did, just save yourself the time. There's so much better stuff to watch that's just not like this. Just don't. Just don't. I don't know. I just really don't like it. It's just not good. Number 79, Kyoko Sakura from Madoka Magica. Dun 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 dun. You know how I said I really like magical girls? Yeah. She can be very stubborn. She has a lot of very tomboyish traits, as you can see. She's also very fiery. If you can't tell, the reason I'm a dragon is because I can get very fiery about certain things. And she also has a bit of a thing where she leaves a bad first impression before becoming like best friends with someone, aka Sayaka, who ends up becoming like, you know, her best friend. Stubborn's definitely an understatement, but you know, try not to be too mean to myself. Yeah. No, I would say literally me. Number 80. Haruna from Korowa Zombie. This is a weird anime. She's really obsessed with eggs. That's one of the main character traits that I really took away from her, is that she's really obsessed with eggs. And you know what? Same. I like me some tamago too. She's very, very good at cooking them. Eggs, 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 eggs. Eggs. Why eggs? Because eggs are yummy and they're nutritious and filling and they're cool and protein. I fucking love protein. Calls herself a genius even though she's constantly proven not to be. Me. She's also a big, big dummy. These basically mean the same thing. But yeah, no, this anime was kind of weird. 81! Shoko Kirishima from Baka to Test. Yan fucking Dere. She's me when I'm ovulating. I think the common theme that I'm trying to get at here is that I apparently think that I become a yandere when I'm ovulating. She was my first anime profile picture on Facebook. When I first made my Facebook, she was my profile picture on Facebook. I just thought she was really cool. But you know what? The older I get, the less I think I actually really she actually is literally me. Because I don't really resonate with a lot of her as a character. Like, none of her personality traits actually make me think, man, she's literally me. I feel more like the other girl, Minami. She had to move around a lot. She felt like a bit of an outsider when she moved to Japanese school because she grew up in Germany. So her Japanese wasn't very good, which I can relate to as somebody who felt very sort of like an outsider in like any of my home countries. And she's also like very tomboy, and she's flat, so and she's flat. I kind of wish I included her instead. She's very flat. Whoa, 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 whoa. Number 82, Yui from Angel Beats. I talk really fast, especially when I'm interested in the topic, and one of her defining traits is that she talks really fucking fast. She's kind of who I become when I'm very comfortable with the people that I'm around. And, like, even though her backstory is really fucking tragic, like, I really like that she's very hyper and sunshiny and tries to remain positive. She's kind of like the me that I try to be more often than not, I would say. Yeah, I really like it. Angel Beats is one of the deeper cuts for me personally because I haven't seen it in a long-ass time. It was absolutely one of the first anime that I ever watched, but it's something that I would watch again, for sure. 83. 83, which is this one. The Kurata from Hayori Suzumiya. Let's see what I read here. Honestly, I took an online test once and it said that I was the most like her, so she gets a mention. God, it's been a while since I watched this anime. I don't remember crap. Well, that's all I can really say. It's true. She's dummy thick? Well, no, thank you. I guess this slide is a bit of a bust. But yeah, no, I don't really remember much from this anime. She's not me. I took an online test and I was like, fuck. What I did towards the end of this, I was like, I'm gonna take a bunch of online tests and I'm gonna find a few characters that I can add as like, just for padding, because I genuinely was racking my fucking brains for anime girls to include. It was getting really bad. Okay, never mind. This one, I'm standing by. Go Matsuoka from Free with Toby Swim Club. I absolutely remember this anime. I remember every single filthy detail of this anime. She's very, very obsessed with muscles. She takes her job very seriously, you know, as the manager of the With Toby Swim Club, but she's absolutely obsessed with muscles and absolutely loses the plot very, very quickly. Yeah, no. She's great. Definitely me. Literally me. She's also one of the only girl characters in it. And like, you know, no respect to Fujos or yaoi enjoyers. I didn't watch Free because I was a yaoi enjoyer. I genuinely just really liked the art style and the plot. I didn't watch it for the yaoi. Yeah, anyway. Number 85. Elucia from The World Only God Knows. She's one of my favorite characters from this anime. She's very optimistic and she can't be kept down for very long, which I think is one of my more positive traits that I have. And she's also really obsessed with fire trucks. Yeah. It's a very, very classic anime. That's all. The connections get a little less strong the further I go down this list, but I do like her a lot. Once again, it's been a while since I've seen this. I got her on an online test I took. Apparently she's a stalker and lonely and sad. Mizore Shirayuki from Rosaria plus Vampire. Oh, I remember her! Yes, no, this was the crazy one. I know why I added this line. She's fucking crazy. Breeder will force you to have babies with her. Well, I've made enough of those audios for you to know that like maybe this is actually a really good one. Maybe this one actually fits. She's cold as fuck. My family kind of sees me as somebody that isn't me, and I think a lot of it is because I'm very quiet whenever I'm around them. So my nickname around my family is usually something to do with like they would call me things like Ice Princess and stuff like that, because I was a bit of a snob when I was growing up. Mainly because I was like really shy and didn't speak like Tagalog very well. So I would always be really like kind of uppity and snobby and bratty. And so they kind of call me that, and they just keep calling me that until now. So I can kind of see the resemblance or cut here. I can see it. Lisa Fukuyama from Girls Bravo. I too would go insane if I figured out who my soulmate was. Very dumb. A very, very dumb girl. Is that all I had to say about her? That's really fucking funny. Very dumb. A very, very dumb girl. Excellent. I guess there's no more on this one. Apparently I liked both. Like, I loved this railgun anime so fucking much that I included both sides of the same couple. She has very boyish tendencies, and she's very, very prideful about what she does, but she's kind of justified in it because she's really fucking good at what she does. One of the subplots that I found interesting was, like, her romance plot, actually. Like, the way that she interacted with MC in many ways was very relatable. I'm the strongest Esper? You think so? You think so? Well, I mostly related to like her very boyish tendencies for the most part. I grew up mostly around dudes, which is probably why most of you wankies are dudes. Just very, very, very comfortable talking to weebs like you. You're just like the people I grew up with. Yeah, you've got us all mind controlled. I don't know about that part. I don't know about that part. You are here out of your own will. I'm not keeping you here. You are not chained to the dungeon. You willingly walked through the dungeon doors and decided to stay. You Ibarra from Nana's Buried Treasure. Very, very clingy girl, very possessive. One of the more embarrassing entries on this list. Any crush that I have, I immediately assume to be one side. This is sad. I don't want to dwell on this too long. Oh, this one was funny. I started watching Eva again. And then I asked my friends, hey, if I was a character from Eva, because I'm making a presentation, which one would I be? And they almost unanimously said Asuka. Because I was like, why? And they were like, oh, arrogant, Sundara, full of herself, mommy issues, into older men. I don't think there's any character in Evangelion where saying a character is literally you isn't a backhanded compliment. It was really bad. So they were really mean, but I'm mean to them back, so it's fine. But it's just really funny. Allie, why are none of these proper nouns capitalized? I don't capitalize anything. If I could write this in subscript, I would. But yeah, no, I was like, okay, so who am I? And they said her, almost unanimously. And when I asked why, they listed these traits. You're fucked up. But you're also the main character. I take that as a win. I take that as a win. I take the wins where I can get them, Chief. Not even the main character. Shut up! She's the main character in my heart! A win is a win. Whatever. 91. Furano Yukihira from My Mental Choices Are Interfering with My School Romantic Comedy. She's one of the Reject 5, the main group in the series. I think this is getting to the part where I like relate to specific traits of the characters on the list. I consider one of my best talents shitposting and saying weird shit while not breaking. I think it takes a lot for me to break. For the most part. If I'm trying to take my voice acting work seriously, especially if I'm shitposting, I can say the shittiest, postiest things without breaking. And one thing that she can do is, definitively, is say weird shit with, the most poker fucking face possible. But it's also funny because she also laughs at her own jokes sometimes, and whenever she'd do that, I'd just be like, yeah, no, literally me. Literally me. Yeah. Just a girl. Number 92. Maya Faye from Ace Attorney. She's a very impulsive girl. Very happy-go-lucky. She rambles a lot. She doesn't make a lot of sense. She goes on a lot of weird tangents. And you know, when I used to work a normal person job, my coworkers would question my sanity too. Especially because whenever I get particularly comfier buddy with them, I go on my weird tangents and they'd be like, are you okay? Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Number 93. Zatanna McDowell from Gabrielle Dropout. God, she's literally me. She is the embodiment of every single egotistical, fucking arrogant, fucking misguided pride that I could possibly muster. She is so me. What I love is that she tries so hard to be this big bad villain, and she wants to be the best villain, but she's so bad at it that she ends up being comic relief. And you know what? That'd be me if I tried to be a villain. Because deep down, she really isn't all that bad. She's just really chuny in many ways. She's literally me. Literally me. For real, for real. 94. Milium Nava from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. This one's a more recent watch, so my details might be a little fuzzier. I just recently started watching it. But I think that she's literally me. I think she's really cute. She's a crybaby. She's sensitive. She's, you know. Based on where I currently am at, I noticed that she does open up a lot. She opens up a bit more, and she does become a little, like, chiller and happier when she does, which, same. Just getting to that point can be a bit tricky. I think she's really cute. I like the twin tails. They're cute. Number 95, Ariatoa from Denpa Onna. Her special interest is aliens. I wrote this here because I'm fucking probably a monster fucker. Loves investigating aliens. Aliens! That's her whole thing! Aliens! Aliens! Yeah! Oh yeah. Not much else to say there. Number 96. Shinoa Hiragi from Owari no Seraph. She's kind of really mean. She's really mean. She likes to smirk. She's very insecure about her height. She's very mean. She's a big meanie. Just really grasping at straws now. I had to fill 100 anime girls because my dummy ass didn't see the opportunity in just saying 69. If I just limited it to 69, the cuts wouldn't be as fucking deep. But you know, I'm committing to the fucking bet. I'm committing to the fucking bet. I just think she's really neat. Okay, here. Okay, we're getting into some of the ones that I think are really May. I don't know why I didn't. Awoo! Last stretch, number 98, Maria Naruse from Testament of Sister New. Yeah, no. Lots of succubus characters on this list. I really am a very big fan of succubus narratives because I love narratives where they're very misunderstood. I like narratives where they're explored a little bit deeper. You know, she gets her energy and motivation from the lewd. She's a very big subby masochist, but she also has a bit of a backstory. I don't think I have the appeal of, like, I feel like being a lewd-tuber and choosing to make yourself a succubus is like, you have to really be able to fit the bill. You know? Like, it's a bit of a flex to be like, oh yeah, I'm a lewd-tuber and a succubus. Like, I wouldn't have enough ego to do that, personally. That's why I stuck with something innocuous, like a dragon. But if you're gonna be like a succubus lewd-tuber, you gotta really fucking commit. You gotta be the most succubus of succubuses. You know? I do really like their narratives, though. And usually it's like, those narratives tend to be very interesting to me as somebody that makes lewd content online. So I see a lot of relatability in some of their narratives. Thanks for the 5 months, Thanarod. Thank you. Succubus VTubers are kind of overdone. I don't think anything's ever overdone unless you're like there are lots of dragon VTubers out there. But I feel like you can absolutely still just be a plain old dragon if you just really love dragons. You know? Like, don't let the fact that there are millions of cat girl VTubers out there dissuade you from becoming a cat girl VTuber if you want to. That's what I think. Yeah. Succubi are kind of boring and on the nose for me, but maybe I just haven't seen very good adaptations on them. I mean, most people use them as like, oh yeah, no, they're sex demons that feed off your like lewdness, and like that's like if you're particularly like hentai pilled and you've consumed a lot of not safe for work content, I can see why that could be the case. But that's what makes it so much more interesting when somebody does manage to have a really good take on a succubus. I also realize I basically just called you a gooner. My bad. But also if you watch me, you kind of are, so it's fine. Number 99. Virgo from Fairy Tail. And you'll notice that I use the exact same description for both of these. Because she has a tendency to make light of serious situations. She's absolutely used as comic relief for the most part. She gets her energy and motivation from the lewd. She's a big subby-wubby masochist. That's her whole thing, is that whenever she's summoned by her key holder, she's like, do you have a punishment ready for me? But she also has a very sad backstory. She really does. I just prefer when their narrative is any emotion over just lewdness. I mean, fair enough. I personally am somebody that does really like fan service in anime. Like, it gets to a point, for sure. Like, when we played that game on Tuesday, it got to a point for me. It's not like it didn't have a narrative, but it absolutely did, like, go really hard on all the innuendos and lewd stuff, and it got to a point for me. But I think the good thing about anime is that whenever I watch anime, at the very least, I watch it when I want to be in a lighter mood, so I don't mind it. I don't mind that some anime are just meant to be tropey. Because sometimes you don't really need to accomplish more than that. That's why I like Slice of Life, and why I will defend it against anyone who says Slice of Life is bad. I think that there are times and places for everything. But I think that's why the whole succubus sex demon thing doesn't really bother me. Because I'm like, you know, sometimes they can literally just be, you know, horny demons trying to take your soul, or like trying to absorb your essence through like lewd acts, and that's fine. There's a reason they're popular. Who is number 100? I'm gonna have you guess, chat. What are we thinking? Is it literally just me? It sure fucking is. It's not. It's Kaguya. Evil. That's all. She's evil. She's one of my tulpas. She's one of the VTuber personas that I have. Her whole thing is that she is a terrible person. The incarnation of everything bad about VTubing. She only cares about her tier 3 subs. She only cares about money. She is evil incarnate. She's literally just the worst. Hot, to be honest. The good thing about Cuddle Kitten is that she's very blunt about what she wants. She never lies to you. If there's anything you cannot accuse Cuddle Kitten of, it's being a liar. Because she just says it straight up. What she's there for and what she wants. Yippee! But wait, there's more! Because you know we were never gonna stop at 100. It's Diana, the shark girl! She's not evil. She's my manager. And she has big tits. She's also literally not me, but also literally me, you know what I mean? I love this art. Look, she's all bloop bloop. She's so cute. She's so cute. It's my manager. Yeah. Bloop bloop. She's literally me. Yeah. I love her design. She's a Gyaru shark girl, if you can't tell. She's real sweet. But she's also a big tsundere. Her job is watching Cuddle Kitten in the jar that she enclosed her in. But yeah, anyway. This is 100 anime girls that are literally me. Featuring my tulpas and Ryan Gosling. Did Toru just not make the cut? I didn't see myself as very Toru-like. Because when I think of Toru, I think of, like, I can only think of her positive traits. And I just don't see myself that positively. She's somebody that I heavily contemplated putting on the list. But she's also such a ball of sunshine to the point where if I added her to the list, I'd feel kind of bad. Because I do really like Toru. There are a few girls that, thinking about it, I definitely would have added, and definitely some that I would have removed. But I made this when I was literally like, fuck, I need to add 100 anime girls. I guess Toru would make the cut. I just need to, I made this list thinking of like, sort of the bad side to me. So, yeah, that kind of ended up being reflected in the characters that I chose. Thank you for the 3 months, love, Nikki Omo. Hello, Nikki-o, how you doing? How you been? You low-key thought that 3.0 would be on here. What is 3.0? I have no idea. I have no idea who 3.0 is. I can't believe I made a list of 100 anime girls, my goodness. But you can tell that, like, towards the beginning, I really was like... towards the beginning, I really was just like, no, I absolutely have to include her. And towards the end, I was like, fuck, I need to add more. But if I redid it again, I don't know. I can think of a few that you guys mentioned that I would include. Like somebody from 100 Girlfriends you mentioned. Yeah. I don't know. Who else would you add, Chad? When was the cutoff point? I came up with the 100 girls in the car in the sweltering heat during my 8-hour car ride back home on Monday. And then I made the whole presentation, like, basically most of today. Because I was like, shit, I gotta do it before stream, so my this was a heat stroke delirium presentation. It was, because I didn't realize how many 100 was. I could come up with 50 easily. But then when I realized that I said 100, I was like, well, shit, I need to lock in. So I came up with like 30 that were pretty good. And then 20 that I was kind of iffy on, that I had to kind of grasp at straws for. Damn, you procrastinated. I wish I had more time. I wanted to do it during my vacation, but I was busy being a human being and it was really rough. Nia and Senna from Xenoblade, I think, suit you. I don't know anything about Xenoblade, so I'm not entirely... I can understand why I didn't include them, because I haven't played any Xenoblade games. Did that influence the number of times you put me when ovulating? Yes, because I have to be very specific about when this character is literally me. Because, you know, I am a woman that contains multitudes. I contain multitudes. Misa from Death Note. Okay, can I name a bunch of characters that I didn't include because I thought you would find it obnoxious? Because I have the list right here. I have a list of characters that I was like, if I add that, that would be too obvious. And now I'm thinking, man, I really wish I added those characters. Okay, hold on. Thank you for the 5 months, Carol. Thank you. Okay. These are characters I should include, but I'll just give them an honorable mention because chat might think I'm obnoxious. Ame from Needy Streamer Overload. I was like, no, if I include that, chat would either be concerned or be like, that's too basic. Misa Amane from Death Note. I was like, no, they'd be too basic. So I was like, no, I gotta go for like slightly deeper cuts than that. And then Julia from The Coffin of Andy and Lele, but then I was like, she's not an anime girl. But I included Pomni, so I might as well have included her. And one of them is literally just that one really bad driver from Family Guy. And it's like, that Family Guy isn't even a fucking anime. I just remember watching that clip on the way home and I thought it was really funny. The one who's like, okay, I turn now. Good luck, everybody else. You know, that one lady driver who's like, okay, I turn now. Good luck, everybody else. Literally me. But it's not an anime, so that's why I didn't include her. But she is literally me when I'm driving. Yeah, anyway, that's my list.